Morning, everyone. It's Glenn Calloway coming to you from the basement. This is a segment I'm going to call Basement Bargains. I was out bargain hunting yesterday for CDs and records. I got some good used stuff here, and then I also have one new item that came in. So let's check it out. 3 CDs and about half a dozen records. Um, First, let me explain. I've said this before. There's this used CD slash movie store that's been around the east end of the Toronto area for quite a few years. I'm going to say they've been in business close to 15 years or more, called Deja Vu Discs. Um, there's one location just in the east end of Toronto, and then two more outside of the city, east of the city, in Ajax and Oshawa. And like I said, mostly their focus is used CDs and movies and games, I think. But they have a gentleman who comes in and leaves used vinyl there for sale, and he comes in and rotates it every couple of weeks. So there's always new stuff in there. It used to be $7 a record. Now it's $8, $7.99. Doesn't matter if it's a double album. It doesn't matter what it is. It's $7.99. There's probably, I'm going to say, 500 to 700 records there at any given time. Um, they are in condition ranging from completely scratched to near mint, never been played. And I have found some amazing titles there for $8. I thought I did pretty good yesterday, so I'm going to show you what I got. Um, First off, we're going to start with Johnny Winter, Guitar Slinger, Alligator Records. I can't see a mark on it. There's just a couple of little. It doesn't even need to be cleaned, I don't think. There was a little piece of dust on it there. But Alligator record label, Johnny Winter. Love Johnny, one of my favorites. I'm trying to look at the date on this. Warner Brothers Records, and I can't see a date, but I'm thinking, I don't know, it's a little later, maybe 80s or something. Johnny Winter, Guitar Slinger. Next, Little Feat. Love myself some Little Feat. Feats don't fail me now. Little Feat on Warner Brothers Records. Again, this looks so clean. I mean, just beautiful vinyl. This has Oh Atlanta on it, Spanish Moon, one of my favorite Little Feat songs. Medley of Cold, Cold, Cold and Tripe Face Boogie. Again, the vinyl just looks absolutely beautiful. I'm going to pull the cover out here to show you. I mean, this is just in pretty darn good shape. Look at that's just, if you want to complain about the edge right there. But that's the worst part. There's no ring wear. And very, very pleased to get that one. Next, a bluegrass album. This was a compilation album that I had many years ago. It's called, on the Decca label, it's called Bluegrass Instrumentals, Bill Monroe and his Bluegrass Boys. It's a compilation of all instrumental fiddle tunes, I would call, with various Bluegrass Boy lineups. Bill Keith on banjo on some of them, Bobby Hicks on some of these tunes. Yeah, just a mix match. Recorded, I would say, anytime from between 53 and 63. But if you're a fan of instrumental bluegrass music, well, first of all, it doesn't get better than Bill Monroe, the father of bluegrass. And kind of a cool album. There's the awesome Decca label. Love that label. It needs to be cleaned up. You can see there's just dust on it. There's no marks or scratches. Okay, what's next? One thing I find some of these with these used records, I don't know if I wonder if there's any kind of a collector's thing out there for the inner sleeves. This one's cool. Parkway Records. I don't know whether to keep this or not. Look at $3.98, mono or stereo. And I'm assuming this is pre-Beatles, or maybe these guys just didn't have any. I guess Parkway didn't have any of those kind of bands anyway. But Bobby Rydell, Chubby Checker, and Twist Party, lots of Chubby Checker records advertised on this. I just think this is very cool. If anybody out there collects these things, let me know. Next, the Blasters. So, Larry Graves, the Canadian Stud Muffin, and I used to get together and do these CD exchanges. They were very popular. People loved them, and we stopped doing them for a while. Larry's dealing with some chronic pain issues, and he's just, not into doing that kind of stuff, which is fine. I'm nothing but the best for Larry. And anyway, but people still ask me all the time in comments, when are you, Larry, going to get together and do another CD exchange? So I can't answer that question. But we are doing a similar thing on Rich Strickler's channel, if anyone's interested. There's myself, Rich, Randall Nelson, and Brian from ABLY, Massey's Main Entertainment. We get together on a weekly basis, usually on Fridays at noon, do a live thing, and recently we've started exchanging albums. Now it has to be something, because geographically we're not close, we can't physically exchange stuff like Larry and I do have the opportunity to do. So it has to be something that's on Spotify that we can listen to. Then we take a week, listen to it a few times, come back, give it a thumbs up, thumbs down, review the albums, and then move on and give each other another one. So we're doing a similar exchange. It's been really fun. Randall Nelson, the first one he gave me was the Blasters. It was their debut album, and I absolutely loved it. What a rockin' album that is, kind of rockabilly, early rock and roll. Like it's just a fun toe-tapping record. And I found this yesterday, the Blasters live in London. Slash Records, how's that? I'm thinking live, these guys must rock. Now, I have become a huge fan of the guitar player in this one. There was a brother act, Phil and Dave Alvin, and Dave Alvin, I'm becoming almost obsessed with this guy, and I'm going to bring him up in a few minutes, so keep that name handy. Next, last two albums. I can't believe I got these on vinyl for $8. The first two Chicago albums, Chicago Transit Authority and Chicago 2. Now, these are in freaking mint condition. Like, I don't even think I need to clean them. They look like they've never been played to me. They're absolutely beautiful. One thing I'm wondering about, if anyone knows, the front of this album says 2-record set. I don't recall the original pressings ever saying that. So I'm assuming this is a reissue of some kind. If anybody knows anything about that, please leave a comment for me. Again, with Chicago, absolutely beautiful vinyl. This also came with the poster. So there's a poster in here with all the band members. Again, look at the cover is, it's got a rough edge there in the corner, but other than that, it's in awesome shape. So, yeah, amazing. That's my vinyl. Now, CDs. So, again, getting back to the CD exchange, the album that Brian gave me to listen to, that I'm supposed to review this coming Friday, is by a band called Perfect Circle. Now, if there's any of you guys are into prog rock and prog metal, I guess, the band Tool, This guy, Maynard Keynes or whatever, came from both those bands. This is called The 13th Step. And I believe it's supposed to be some kind of concept album about AA or something, or AA getting off of drugs or something. I don't know. But I've sampled the whole album, like the first 30 seconds on Spotify before I got it. And I had the chance to pick it up at a used CD store yesterday for $8, so I grabbed it. And I'm really interested in hearing it. I can't speak much about it because I haven't had a chance to hear any of the songs in their entirety. But I understand it's a pretty good album. My buddy Scott from the Prog Corner gave it a big thumbs up. So, okay, next. Remember I told you, remember that name, Dave Alvin? So I first heard of Dave Alvin, I guess I've had my head buried in the sand for all these years, on a kind of a album he did focusing on the music of the 60s, the psychedelic guitar sound of the 60s. It was an album called The Third Mind, which I absolutely love. It's got all these long psychedelic guitar type songs on it. They do a version of Mountain Dew on it, which is a big staple of the Grateful Dead in their sets. Just a brilliant record. I absolutely love it, and that was my introduction to Dave Alvin. So anyway, Dave Alvin, then I found out when Randy gave me the Blasters album that Dave Alvin's in the Blasters. I went, oh, okay, that, starting to figure it all out. So I found this used yesterday. Dave Alvin, King of California, blew my mind away, exploded. What a great frickin' album this is. Dave Alvin's a great guitar player. This is all acoustic and a mix of acoustic blues, a couple of country tunes where he does duets. He does one duet with a woman by the name of Rosie Flores that's absolutely wonderful. And then a duet with Sid Strand, What Am I Worth? But this is a great album. There's some roots rock on here. There's some acoustic blues. There's some country. But it's so well done, and the guy is an amazing guitar player. I can't recommend this album enough if you like acoustic music and like even roots music. Dave Alvin, King of California. Check this out. It's just, I was floored how good it is. Okay, now I got one new album showed up from Amazon yesterday. I'm a big Frank Zappa fan. This is the newest release, Zappa 75, live in Yugoslavia. If you think I'm going to try and pronounce those names of the places in Yugoslavia, you're crazy. I'm not even going to attempt it. I'm really interested in hearing this, especially because it's a scaled down band for Frank. 73, 74, Frank toured around with, I'd say a 10-piece band. I could be off by a couple of pieces here and there, but Ruth Underwood and the Fowler Brothers and Napoleon Murphy Brock and George Duke, and just that's my favorite Zappa band and period, is that 73, 74 stuff. But 75, he scaled it down at some point after doing some work with Captain Beefheart, and went out with Napoleon Murphy Brock, Norma Bell on alto and soprano sax, Andre Lewis on keyboards and vocals, Roy Estrada on bass, and Terry Bozzio on drums, and Zappa himself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-piece band. That was it. So I'm really interested in hearing this scaled down Zappa band. I'm getting the feeling I'm going to hear a lot of guitar on this band. So just a lot of stories about should be interesting. I'll let you guys know what I think. That's it. So I've got a lot of music to listen to today. What else can I say? Thank you so much for watching. Everyone have a great day. Peace out.